Oh, yes. Why? Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. This is a great day. This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it, won't we? Yes, we will. Even though some situations may have occurred that are not conducive to happiness, we shall still rejoice and be glad in the Lord. Yeah, I know it can be difficult. It's very challenging sometimes, but this is what the Lord has said in his word, his magnificent word. And we give him thanks, Lord. We give you thanks. We give you praise. We give you thanks. We give you praise. We give you thanks. We give you praise all the day long and all through the night. Blessed be the name of the Lord. And his name is Yahweh. Hallelujah. For his only begotten son, Yeshua, the great teacher. Hallelujah. Bless the Lord and our Savior. Right. Okay. I have had some prayer requests come in. And these prayer requests are a bit, one of them is for a young man. Some of you may have heard about him, 25 years old, Jason Bentley, who was murdered on Friday night, early hours of Saturday morning, in Digbeth in Birmingham. And just trying to find it now. Yes, in a club, and they worked on him apparently for 6 hours or several hours, but they weren't able to save him. So the reason why I mention him is I did know him. He's a good friend to my daughter's best friend's cousin, and I met him through my daughter because she was always plaiting his hair. And the photo that they've used up for him in the social media and in the newspapers is the hairstyle that she had plaited. And I knew him to be a very jokey young man, always playing with my grandchildren when he's getting his hair done. And for the last 10, 12 years, I've known him. I'm just really, really saddened at this. You know, it's just really, really sad. Sometimes I think that these young people, they think that they can stab someone or shoot someone and it's like a cartoon, then they'll come back alive tomorrow. I just don't think they get it, that when they stab someone, that person could die. The doctors may not be able to save them, you know, and Jason is one of those that they weren't able to save, apparently. You know, and so now, you know, a whole family is completely distraught. A whole family is completely distraught, and I'm sure the young person who did stab him must be feeling distraught in some kind of way, because he knows he's going to get sent down. So that's two families, more or less, you know, their lives kind of ruined for a while. You know, I wish these young people would take stock of themselves. I wish it was like the olden days where it used to be fisticuffs, you know, a bit like the Cowboy Ninja days, you know, when it was a good biff baff, Batman and Robin flying through a window, and that was the end of it, you know. But these not cutting up someone with a knife, that is just too up close and personal. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So if you could please pray for the family of Jason. Oh Lord, Jason, bless the Lord. He leaves a mother and a brother, and obviously the rest of his cousins and uncles and aunties. The next one, this one says, is a grandfather. His name is Radley. It says, he's in a bad way. He's hit his head, so due to have a CT scan. Also, they are concerned with the fact he has lost feeling in both his legs. And finally, they suspect possible COVID. The dratted word again. So if you could please play for Radley. I do not have a surname for him, but he's a grandfather, and his grandson has sent that in. Bless the Lord. The next one, please, if you could pray for, it says, good morning all, can you please pray for a friend of mine? Her name is Janice. She is a powerful, influential woman of God. She's currently in ICU in hospital, really needs a miracle prayer. Came back from holiday with COVID. That dratted word COVID once again. Oh my goodness. I did read it in the newspapers, and I saw it on the social media news. It was actually on the news that I think it was 3 countries did COVID post-mortems on some patients, and they found blood clots in the arms and the legs, and they were not happy because that doesn't show a virus, that shows a bacteria. What can you say? I don't know. And I can say this because I had COVID last year, coughing up blood and everything. I didn't know where I was. My daughter came in to do my care, and she said I was eating my rice and peas off the bed sheets. Can you imagine? And I was talking a load of baloney, total confusion. I didn't know what was going on. And they was telling me that, I was taking too much medication. I said, I'm not overdosing myself. And I wasn't overdosing myself. I had the so-called dratted thing, and I was whisked off to hospital for several days, and I can't even tell you what they said to me. It's just basically they said to me they weren't going to help me to live. They said they were not going to intubate me, put me on any kind of life-saving machine, and they said they would just let me pass. He says, you've got no life. You've got diabetes, right? You've got high blood pressure, right? He reeled off all this stuff. I says, right. But I didn't understand what he was saying. It was my daughter that phoned me from America, and I told her what was said. And she says, Mum, they're saying that they're going to write you off. You've got to write a letter, and tell them to put it in your notes. And he came down on me with a great rage upon me the following morning. Said, I thought you understood. Understood what? I said, my daughter explained it to me, that they were going to write me off. I said, listen, I've got 4 children and 10 grandchildren and a dad to get back home to. I can't die in here. But I had already prayed to my Lord and my God, Abba, Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be his name. And he told me I was not going to die. And so I just settled myself down for the ride. And what a ride it was. Painful, like I don't know what. I felt like I was shaking me like a rag doll. Anyway, this interview is not about me. Please also pray for Pastor Overseer Windsor Queensborough, and also Elder Derek Campbell. Please also bear in mind in prayer those who have lost loved ones. Brother Philip Hall. It just really upsets me. Brother Philip Hall, Pastor Peter Sutcliffe. And I think that's the newest ones. Also, please don't forget to continue to pray for Brother Clive McCooty, who's still not able to walk after suffering sepsis last year. I think I will stop there. We have to now. Oh yes. Oh gosh, I haven't got my glasses.
Good evening, Si.
And who's it by?
Estelle Johnson.
Estelle Johnson. Estelle. Oh, Isha. afternoon to you, my beauty. How are you? How are you? How are you? Oh, bless the Lord. Yes, our God is awesome. He's always awesome. He does magnificent, wonderful, beautiful, awesome things for us. You know what I think, and this one gets to me a lot of the times. We don't know the amount of things that the Lord has saved us from. We see the things that he's allowed us to go through, and he allows us to go through certain things because those are the times when we really cry out to him. You know, even the atheists, you know, blame God for things, and they say they don't believe in a God. You know what I mean? But the things that he saved us from that we don't even know about, that's the one for me. You know, I could have been dead and gone long time, many times over. I mean, the enemy tried to take me out just the other day. You know, it's pure madness, but God is so good and he's so merciful. I haven't seen such mercy. I haven't seen such mercy than what the Lord our God shows to us. He's wonderful. I just love him, and I can't stop loving him, and I won't stop talking about him because he's a good God to me, and not to just me, to all of us. We all breathe air and see rain, drink water, eat food. Ah, Lord. Ah, bless God. Now, oh yes, now we have coming on the show a very beautiful, yes, a very beautiful woman, a very beautiful woman who I've known for many years. I think it was in the year 1999, 2000 that I met her when I went to a studio for Lindsay Campbell. We were going to write a song together. And he said, "Oh, sorry, you know, I've got an idea for a hook." And I suppose I said, "When I think of what he's done for me," so that's what you hear at the beginning of the show. And then she came in, but we'll talk about that a bit more in the program. Anyway, I'm going to welcome into the studio the beautiful, delectable Cherokee. Yes, Cherokee. And when you look at her, you'll see why they call her Cherokee, because she does look like Red Indian. But that is one of the 12 tribes, you know, tribes of Israel. Yes, what's it called? Issachars, the Issachars. Yes, yeah. Okay, bring her into the studio, please. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone.
Yes. How are you doing?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
Good. I'm not bad today, actually. I'm not bad today. I've had the little one here with me. He was trying to press my buttons, but I turned around and pressed his. Yes. Yes. I know how to press his buttons all right. That little one there. That's my grandson, obviously.
I
And
heard you saying some firm words in the background.
yes, you did hear him earlier. Yeah, he is one of those. He's one of those. Ina. That's what I say about that little one there. Yes. Anyway, so now, are you ready for your questions, my dear?
I think so. Yeah.
No, I had them up earlier. Now they seem to have disappeared. I don't know why this always happens to me.
That there you go.
All right. I was thinking that was some music you had for us.
No, not yet. Maybe.
Okay. All right.
Right. Where am I? Who am I? We are.
You don't know who you are.
Here we are.
You never know.
There you go. I'm back.
All right. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm very grateful. Thank you so much for agreeing to come back on the show today. And I know that you are extremely busy because you are recording, aren't you?
I'm always recording.
Yes, you're recording, and you've taken time out of your busy schedule to do this. So I do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Is that better?
It looked all right as it was. Is it better? Oh yeah, it's better apparently. It's better.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Right. Okay. So how's life treating you? How's hobby?
Good. Everything, life is good. I cannot complain. I will not complain because there's no point.
Okay. You know, that is so true. That is so true. As the Bible says that we cannot change, not even the hairs on our head. We don't even know the number.
I wish I could
Bless the
change
Lord.
the colour of mine, but that's another story.
Right, okay. Right, my dear, shall we get straight into this?
Yeah.
I think, oh, you got black on. Let's just give us a little. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Yes, hallelujah. Bless the Lord. Right, so I don't believe I asked you this question when you was on before. What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be something in the music industry. I wasn't sure what at that time, because it's only as I've gotten older and done different work in the industry that I've learned the different jobs, roles. There's jobs I didn't even know existed as a youngster. I just knew that I wanted to create music.
All right, okay. So you did know you wanted to be in music, which is and you've done really well in it as well. I've heard some of the music that you have produced.
Okay.
Magnificent, right? Have you worked in a 9-to-5 job?
I've worked in lots of 9-to-5 jobs.
You have. Name a few of them.
I've done cleaning jobs. What else have I done? I worked in a bespoke shoe factory for people with disabilities.
Oh, that's interesting.
I was
where was that based?
That was in Birmingham. That was when I was probably about 19 or 20, I think then. What else have I done?
Okay.
I've worked as a chambermaid in a hotel. I've been a tour manager. I've run a record. Well, no, actually, they're not 9-to-5 jobs, I suppose, are they? But yeah. What else have I done? Worked for the job centre for a while.
Job centre. Let's just go back to the chambermaid. How did you feel that was, that chambermaid work?
I didn't mind it, because me and a couple of friends of mine did it, and we thought it was a laugh, basically, because we used to find all sorts in people's rooms and then kind of chuckle at it and make a bit of a laugh about it. But yeah, it was an interesting job. But yeah, similar to cleaning, I guess. But there you go. It's like housework, but for somebody else.
Yeah, well, I think you have to know how to clean to be a chambermaid. That's for sure. Because
Allegedly.
They have a certain sheet, don't they, wherein you have to read from the sheet and a photo. I seen one hotel. They had a photo, and the way the pencil was placed and the way the notebook was placed, that's how it had to be. It was standardized. So it's not as easy as people think. It's a hard role.
Yes.
And the work they're waiting gold, those chambermaids, if you ask me. Now you said job centre. I'm sure I heard you mention that. What was you doing there?
Being nice to the customers. What was I doing there? I was the evil person, well, in the eyes of the customers, that used to cut their money off. So they always used to try and be nice to me so that I didn't. But I was only trying to help them, really. But
by cutting their money off.
Then should I bring them job searching? No, I always help people to find jobs, basically. But if you're taking the mick, when I know I've gone out of my way to try and help them, I didn't just say, yeah, I'll do a cleaning job. I actually help them to find vocational jobs.
Yes.
But if they're still taking the mick, then I can't help you at the end of the day. I'm like, well, I have to do this. Do you want me to end up on the same side of the desk as you? So, sorry.
Yeah, because you will get pulled up by your own boss about it. If I worked for a private company that Job Centre Plus brought in, and I think there's only 3 people that I remember having to stop their money, and the one guy, he just didn't care, and his money was stopped for 3 years. Wow. 3 years, because I think this a 1 week ban, then a 3 week, then it was a 3 month, then a year.
That's
and
right.
Then it went 2 years. Yeah, and this was before I had the accidents, and I hated the first one I had to do. I absolutely hated it, because I thought, oh my gosh, they're not going to have no money. How they're going to eat? The children. And when you cut off their job seekers allowance, it was at that time. I think it's universal credit now. They cut off their housing benefit as well, so that means rent ain't getting paid neither. It's
heavy.
What?
some of the people, sorry to interrupt. It's
No,
just,
no, you're not interrupting.
some people are their own worst enemies because I help them to do a job search. I give them an opportunity to do it, but they come every week without it. They can't be bothered, literally.
Yeah.
I don't know why. And I'm a fair person. I'll give people chances even when I shouldn't have done. It's my job to cut them off after the first week, but I'll give them a chance to come back, or I'll say, come back in half an hour. I shouldn't be saying this, but you know, I don't want to have to cut your money off, but you leave me no other choice if you keep doing that. So be it on their own heads sometimes. Also, I think some people are depressed and, you know, getting to to come in and sign on is not a priority for them.
Yeah.
Just trying to get from one day to the next. So there's reasons.
Depression was a recognized illness back in the day, but then they changed it a few years ago, and they were making these depressed people come in and making them, you know, apply for like 150 jobs in a week. You know, so, you know, how can they apply? Where they're going to get the stamp and the paper and the envelopes for all of that? You know, so my company used to pay for all of that. But I think at the job centre, they actually spoke to someone like you, and then did you print off the letters and send them out, or did you give it to them to send it out?
It depends, really. If you can't trust the person to hand the letter to the person at your end, I'll either email it to them or phone them and say, well, so and so is on their way over to you. So
yeah.
Again, as I said, I didn't submit people to just any jobs just to get them out of the system. I'll try and at least do something, as I said, that they enjoy or that they've got.
Absolutely. That's a good employment officer.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's what that is. I mean, I knew some that would just make them do anything, and obviously they didn't want to send those application forms off, and then they're, you know, it's to and froing with the employment officer. You know, they're just not getting on because you know, if you want to go and do horticulture, something in horticulture,
and then
they send you to go and work in a supermarket.
Yeah.
You know, come on now. And you're telling them that they can be a cashier. They've been telling people they can sit on a chair. If they sit in a wheelchair, they can sit on a chair as a cashier. I mean, come on now. Anyway, bless the Lord, yeah. Bless the Lord. Were there any more jobs?
Oh, what else did I do that's interesting?
Everything is interesting.
I guess it can make it interesting. Trying to think, I did a lot of temping jobs, silly temping jobs. There were like really, really silly jobs, like things like doing catering for an afternoon. But I remember what it was. My manager, when I first became an artist, when I was a freelance back in the day, he said, "Cherokee, why you love to keep change job every minute?" So his name's Bernie Dixon. Shout out to Bernie Dixon. He says, "I know you're not happy, so you might as well just go do the music and done, don't you?" So basically, he's gonna phone me and kick me now if he ever hears this interview. But yeah, and that was a very sound piece of advice from him. And I thought, you know what? I do hate all of these jobs, no matter how good I am at them. I was a receptionist at an old person's home as well. Shout out to my sister Bev, who got me that job also.
Oh, yeah.
And my other sister Altia that got me the cleaning job, but that's another story. But yes. But yeah, it's like I used to do anything really, because I just used to save up the money and buy musical equipment with it. So I suppose I didn't really care what I did. That sounds bad, but anyway, next question.
Well, actually, most musicians that I know, whether you're a producer, singer, you know, or a musician, they work to get the money to go and do the music side, you know, because that's the love. The music is the love. So doing a 9 to 5 is paying for the thing that they love.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not on your own there. So
sorry.
You did say last time what got you into music production, wasn't it? I'm sure I remember saying you. I don't know why I've put a tick there. Didn't I? Yeah. Can you just reply to that one anyway? What got you into music production?
The person whose name we've been trying not to say, who is Lindsay Campbell. I started out as a singer working with Cash. I'll synopsize it. We were working with a guy called Angus that didn't really get the vision of what we were trying to do. Then Cash pulled this ace card out of his sleeve and says, I know someone that can produce tracks, like it's some little brethren round the corner. And then and Man and Man's got bare tunes on the radio that's that Sasha Brooks and Schoolboy and other DJs are playing all of his remixes. So he took out this thing, I think I mentioned it, the MPC. It looks like a cooker, but it makes great beats. So I said, what is that? A light shone from it. And he says, it's an MPC 3000. So then he taught me how to use it. He taught me the concept of how to program beats, etc. So, and the rest, as they say, is history. I learned a little bit at school as well, though, from GCSE, but I learned the majority from Lindsay, I would say.
Oh, wow. Well done, Lindsay. Yeah, great guy. Now, I'll just say Chaka Khan.
Okay.
And then you can tell me about Chaka Khan in your life.
Well,
and that's the real Chaka Khan, everybody.
The real Chaka Khan. Well, the first time I met her was, I think I was doing backing vocals for Leona Lewis on Loose Women. So I met her in the dressing room at Loose Women, and she was kind enough to pose for a picture with me then. So I was like, then I encountered her again musically because we're both on the same album, a group called Incognito. Jazz funk group. Don't shoot me if I've got your title wrong, but yeah, we're both on that album. Then I came across her again while tour managing her. But a silly story is basically, most people that know me, I never do anything with my hair. I don't have the time. It's either like this or in a bun or just down. It's just never changed. I've got 3 hairstyles for the last 20 years. That's me. But basically, Chaka Khan looked at my hair and she's like, girl, you got beautiful hair. Why don't you ever curl it or do something with it? That's not her accent. But so then she's like, come to my room afterwards. She said, I've got some heated rollers. Let me just attempt to do something with your hair. But then she plugged in the rollers. And because the current in the UK is different to what it is in America, it's 240 here and 110 or something silly over there. So they didn't heat up. But anyway, we were already there. But there was a vibe. We were just chatting. She was drinking tea. Chaka Khan made me tea. So we were just in her room, just chatting, talking about life. She was showing me pictures of her children, her grandchildren, her home. So she's like literally talking to her is like talking to you. She's just like, you know what I mean? One of the mature figures that you can gain wisdom from, like one of our conversations that goes on forever. So, yeah. But she's just not at all diva-ish in any way, shape, or form. Just very down to earth and very kind of, yeah.
She doesn't look like her. Well, she doesn't come over like somebody who's diva-ish in an interview. Anyway, I saw her in a production called Mama I Want to Sing in London, and yeah, she was absolutely great in it. You know, I love Chaka Khan. I do. I love me some Chaka Khan. Yes. So, which artists have you produced then, my dear?
I should have written this down because I know I'm going to forget. I have produced, well, gospel-wise, I've done CIE, I've done vocal production for Raymond & Co, vocal production for yourself also.
And that's a fantastic job you did about that. I should mention that a bit later on as well. So CIE, that's Raymond & Co. Now, Raymond & Co, they won Mobo, didn't they? I'm sure.
Yeah, apparently, yes, they did.
Yes.
Mobo, and again, big up man like Lindsay Campbell for producing the majority of that album, and man like Nikki Brown as well, who also contributed.
Yeah.
And who else have I worked with? I've worked with, well, I remixed Craig David.
Oh, okay.
This is terrible.
Which song was that then?
It was a track of his called World Filled with Love, and it's a remix that I did. See, I knew this would happen. See, as I said, after the last time we spoke, I'm like, yeah, and I'm going to mention this and I'm going to say that. All of it's just gone out of my head completely now.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, where's your research guy? He'll probably be in the background, like.
Mr. Producer, do you know any other singers or groups that Cherokee has produced for, worked with?
No.
No.
Not giving up. Truth?
No, he can't think of any right now. Well, that's quite a few. That's quite a few. And some big names.
Sorry?
Some big names as well.
A couple of people. As I said, I will kick myself afterwards, but I can't actually remember who. No.
Okay. Right. Can you remember the names of the studios you worked in? And where they were? Some of the biggest studios.
Okay, I've worked in Metropolis Studios in London a number of times over the years doing different things.
Yeah.
Remember I told you last week I worked with Karen Wheeler. Soul to Soul at the time we're doing, I think, this 25th year anniversary type.
25 years. Oh my goodness.
This was 5 years ago though, so it's probably 30-ish years or something now. But
Okay. Wow.
Metropolis Studios called them to do the anniversary thing, and they performed a song that I'd written there.
Who did you say?
Soul to Soul.
Oh, Soul to Soul. Wow. Okay.
Karen sang it, and Soul to Soul, the rest of the group kind of backed her, but it's a song I wrote called Yellow. Yeah, people have been asking for this song for such a long time. I really should do something about that really with Karen, but Karen is just here, there and everywhere, and she was working and she's busy, and that's Karen for you. But yeah, so it hasn't happened so far, but I still, one day, God willing, we get to release that song because it's a beautiful song.
Okay, I look forward to hearing it.
Terry Walker, she performed with Terry Walker.
Terry Walker, what Mr. Producer has said.
I haven't produced for her, but I've sung with her. I did an MTV Bass Lounge thing with her.
Got Gary Barlow.
And Gary Barlow.
Yep, sang with Gary Barlow as well at his studio. That was for his Neverland soundtrack that he did, which was
wow.
Jessie J.
Jessie J.
Yes, I've written for Jessie J. Did I mention this last week? I don't remember.
No, you didn't, and you wasn't on last week either. That's how busy she
last week. Last interview, sorry, not last week.
She did mention Kylie Minogue.
Oh yeah, Kylie Minogue. She did mention Kylie Minogue. I think that was the only name that she mentioned.
Was it?
Well, I did, and I mentioned Estelle. Estelle Lipman.
Who else have I worked with? Basement Jacks as well, the dance group.
Okay.
And with Vula.
Who's Vula?
Oh, Laura and Vula.
Oh, no, I don't know that name.
She's a newish.
She's from Birmingham. Oh gosh, shame.
She's also from St Kitts and Nevis. Big up St Kitts and Nevis in his
yes, big up St Kitts and Nevis.
Big up Estelle Letman as well for the St Kitts and Nevis crew. But carry on.
Yeah, lovely. Okay, quite a few there. What's it like being the almost lone female in the male-dominated arena of producer?
I really like it because I stand out just because I'm female at the end of the day. People are kind of listening a little bit more keenly just to see what I do. So I think from that point of view, but I do think some people's noses are slightly out of joint sometimes, like the males. But oh well.
Because you're able to nab some big names. Is that, do you think, the reason why they're slightly jealous?
I think, remember, there's this whole male pride thing and ego thing of they have to always, they're stronger than us, they're better than us in many areas. Yeah, that's right, it's laughable.
Sorry to laugh. I should have been laughing, should I?
But yeah, that's the thing. A lot of them think that they are better than us. Female comes along and it's just like, actually, I am better than you, bro. It's hard for them to swallow, but
right. If you can back it up, back it up. I'm gonna say, don't write checks that your client can't cash or something like that. To that effect. I should have said that.
I didn't hear what he said, Mr. Producer. Was that something not nice?
When I say something a bit close to the brain, he just raises his eyebrows and starts laughing. You know, it's well, that's the way it goes, though. You know, I'm not taking it back. Yeah, bless the Lord. You're the very first producer
Mm-hmm.
that I met, actually.
Really?
Yeah, and you set the bar very high, very high.
Thank you.
So let's just deal with the matter. I met Lindsay before. He first saw me at the Grand Hotel at Commodore in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And then we said we're going to get together and write and whatever. Kept in contact. And then he contacted me and said that he's got the idea of this song in his head. So I must come down to London, which I did do. And was sitting in there. I can't remember if we'd done Incredible, the slow song, or first. But anyway, went to the studio. I can't remember if it was Northwood or something like that in London. I can't remember for sure.
Thornton Heath, I think. Actually, did you ever come to the Camberwell studio that he had?
Camberwell. I think that was the one.
It was like, it looked like a dungeon, but it was underneath like some railway arches. But then you go in and then there's this studio inside. But from the outside, it looks like you're going into the side of, as I said, some kind of, you're expecting to see turtles in there and stuff. But it was actually a nightclub. But as I said, you go in and then the studio's in there. So it's like,
I think that was the first one. I think that was the first one. The one I remember after that was Noel Robinson's studio.
Yeah, that was the one in Thornton Heath.
That was one in Thornton. Okay. Yeah, I think that was the one that you were talking about. It didn't look like the studio from the outside.
Yeah, Noel Robinson's. There's all sorts of businesses in that building anyway, so.
Yeah, but his part there is really beautifully done out. Yeah. You know, it's quite big as well.
Is Noel still there?
As studios go, I don't know if it's still there. I don't know. I haven't been able to go into a studio for 7 years, but I remember sitting there and we was deliberating over this song. He was teaching me the melody, and then he said he wanted me to do the backing vocals. Now I'm not a backing vocals, but I've sung in a choir. That's how I got together with the choir Kahi, and we sung around with various different artists. We've been background choir people, and it was very hard for me to keep in line, you know, because when the music lick me and it's sweet, I can't find myself. I can't keep myself quiet, and so it was very hard for me to, you know, stay in lane. I tell you, backing vocalists, you know, I take my hat off to them. They're fantastic people to just stay in lane like that. And then you came in, and your lovely other half, he says to you to get into the little vocal booth and to put down this, and you said, oh, you haven't come there for that or something. And then the two of you was at it, and I was sitting there and I think,
like awkward.
You know, but you did go in there, and then when you opened your mouth and started singing these airy fairy background, bit like Mariah Carey notes, you know, with kind of it's just airy fairy. You can hear them on the songs. I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not gonna have to do no backing vocals at all now. You know, it's just wonderful. I could just sit here, you know. And then it was years afterwards. I think it probably was last year, the year before, that you said to me that you thought, you know, oh, I wonder what Sai's thinking, you know, just crashing her session and whatever. And you thought I might have been upset. I'm thinking, me be upset about someone coming out and helping me out so that I don't have to do the long singing and kill out my throat hole. No way. I was so happy. I was so happy. You know, it was a wonderful session and it was great meeting you.
But you love to kill out your throat hole. That's just you.
When I'm on the stage, something just, the spirit takes hold of me and I forget everything else. I even forget the words of my song. Haven't I been the producer of my own songs?
A few times. Or just like more.
I've forgotten the words of the when I think a few times. When, you know, when the band is live band is playing it or whatever going around. Yeah, but that's just the way it goes for Sai. Welcome to my world. You know,
don't be fooled by your little soft voice at the end of the day right now. Speaking
face. No, a few people have said that, you know. Yeah, soft voice. I don't think I've got a soft voice. But anyway, I wanted to congratulate you because let me tell you something. When I first had the first two accidents there, and I was feeling really low because I couldn't get out of bed, couldn't get out of the house, and without my pappy and my children coming around and helping me. And I not long before that bought a album of Estelle Lippman. Hallelujah is called. I'm sure you're the producer on that one, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. And I had bought I had a TV that's got, you can put the DVDs and CDs in the side, and I put that in, and it played for weeks.
Really?
Yeah, it played for weeks on a rotation.
Wow.
And I woke up to it and fell asleep to it. It just ministered to my soul. You did an absolutely magnificent job on that song. I tell you that now. It fed me. It really did. And I spoke to Estella. I keep going to call her by her surname, Estella. About it. Was going to be speaking about another matter on the phone, and I let her know, and she was really surprised.
Really?
Yeah, she was surprised that I was playing this song over and over for weeks and weeks. While I was I can't even say recuperating, because that part wasn't a recuperating. I was out for the count. I was, a man down, just about roll my eyes. And yeah, you did a wonderful job on there. So I just wanted to recognize you for that there, Cherokee. I played all versions. It went all the way through. I'm sure there was 3 or 4 on the
Hallelujah, I think it was 2 versions. There was a trap version and the main version.
Okay, all right.
What was the next single? What was the next thing? Happy, I think the next single. I think it was 2 remixes of that I'd done as well. 2 versions of Happy and next single.
Okay. But the only one that stands out to me was the Hallelujah one. That was the one that ministered to me, personally. And I thank you for it. I do. I thank you both for it. Right, my dear. How would you contrast old school with today's music? Could you call it new school? Old school with new school.
Music in general, or
music in general.
Okay, that's easy. On one level, basically, you don't have to be a musician to create music anymore, whereas previously you did. Now, all you need is a mouse and an internet connection to make music, and that's it. You can download the music software for free. You can download a bunch of sounds off the internet for free, drum sounds, samples, everything. And then you literally just drag and drop them and collate them and cut and paste things. And then you have a track and loop them and cycle them. Whereas before you would have to pick up an instrument, sing something, write some words down. Whereas now you see people in the vocal booth like this, reading the words off their phone. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I sit in this room and make music, basically, whereas other people, back in the day, most people would have to go to a studio to create music, because you wouldn't have had the equipment in your house, generally speaking. But now, like, a 13-year-old boy can use his mom's laptop and make beats now, and
this is very true.
Song that would be chart worthy now. So it's very easy now, very, very easy.
Yeah, it's true. My friend was telling me he strapped his iPhone onto the side of the car on the windscreen mirror. Not windscreen, what you call it? I've driven a car for so long, I can't remember what the call. The wing mirror. Yeah, strapped it onto the wing mirrors to the side, and that's how he recorded himself singing to the music that he'd created at his home. And when he showed me the video, I was flabbergasted. You would have never thought it. They're very ingenious now, people, and especially the young people. They come up with so much ideas.
Technology. That's the thing. That's all it is. Technology is the music industry's friend now. To be honest, technology's always been there to support what we do as producers. But like before, I'd have to pick up an instrument or play something. Now you don't even have to be able to sing because auto tune and Vocaloid will take care of that, or Melodyne will take care of all of that.
Yeah.
So that doesn't even matter anymore now. So it's easier than ever. You don't have to have much or any talent or musical talent. I think also definitely one main thing to mention is the way music is consumed is also very different now. Because before the only place you would hear music is on the radio or on the TV, or you would have to go to a record shop to hear what's new. Whereas now, again, it's just a click away. You go on Spotify. Spotify almost tells you what.
Oh yes, I've got Spotify.
Yeah, people don't have to pay for music anymore. People just stream now, so
Yeah.
it's completely different. Even how people sell or consume music. Again, nobody's going into a record shop to buy a CD or vinyl or cassette anymore. Again, it's a click of a mouse. People don't tend to have a physical CD or a physical product anymore.
Yeah.
Radio as well, that the whole industry is kind of on its head with the digital age in comparison to what it used to be.
I wonder how artists are going to make their money. I can understand the people who write,
Yeah.
how they make their money, but artists who don't write, they just perform the songs. This in this COVID-filled world right now,
Yeah.
but you're not able to have these big concerts right now.
People are
That's
having
where they make their money.
people are streaming concerts at home now, but for a lesser fee. Like for example, Kylie, I think last year, shortly after the launch, or just before I think the launch of her album, she did like a virtual concert which was chargeable. So artists
Oh,
as well now. Obviously, people can't go to a physical concert, but it's still a way of generating revenue from people wanting to see you perform, even if it all be on the screen in their house. So on the TV.
my goodness me! This is like we're in a science fiction film. I tell you, you would think so. I mean, you've seen this kind of thing in films, and now we're actually living in a film. Oh my goodness!
Even he says, remember when Bond used to have something in his ear and he would tap it and then he would be talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And it would be like, that's the stuff of science fiction. Whereas now it's here in our hands. Basically, it's tangible. And the Apple Watch and whatever. But do you understand what I'm saying? All of that's very
absolutely. It's amazing really to see the things that we've done. If we just go back with the music, when the first single that I sang was when I was 19, and it was a reggae song, and the people didn't even have the decency to ask me what my surname was. They put the name of the studio as my surname, and it was Dowcast Studio. Studio. It was based in Birmingham, just after Dudley Road way.
Okay.
Around there, I mean, so many years ago. And I remember that they told me it had come out, and I went and bought a copy. When I went and bought a copy, I couldn't believe what was seen. There was no Hamilton on there. It was called Dowcast. And it was Dowcast Studio. Thinking, do you mean to tell me they couldn't even? But I remember in those days, if you made a mistake when you were singing, they wanted you to go right back to the beginning of the song, to sing the whole song again, to catch that one little bit. And that used to drive me absolutely doolally. One thing about today's technology, they can drop you in for one little word, and you don't have to sing out your soul case, as Mum would say.
Okay. Well, even then as well.
Yes.
In terms of singers, when they're delivering their takes, I can cut and paste words together basically instead of them doing the whole thing. Like even if they've done a few, you can slot things in, so no one would know that they never actually sang the whole thing in one go. So
yes, you got that. The only thing is you got to make sure that they sing in the same kind of passion or vibe or whatever, so you don't lose the momentum of it. But yeah, you know, it's that technology there I welcome. And I can't look. I can't wait to get back in the studio.
I love you, Auto Tune. I love you, Buckerline. We are like this. Anyway, I won't reveal all of my secrets. But everything them anyway. From the greatest to the worst uses those things. That's coming like reverb now. So it's
yes, reverb used to hide quite a few mistakes. Notice we're coming down in time. Yes, Mr. Pidgeot, I see your hand. Oh, you did that. You sang for us, didn't you, last time?
I did, yes. Stop.
But you know, who taught you how to do those little intricate backing vocals though? That's what, you know, I like to know. Those little intricate flyaway notes and then harmonize them.
My ears basically, but the first person that I ever heard harmonizing and realized it was a thing was my sister.
Okay.
She used to hum along to any song on the radio. She'd just be humming along with the same lyrics but with a different note, and that intrigued me as a child, thinking whatever she's singing, it's beautiful, and I don't understand because then I can hear that it's not the melody. What is that? So then I kind of just built on that and then realized or began to understand the concept of music and chords and how to put chords together.
Okay.
And started to do that vocally. So she'd be singing one part and then I might be singing a higher part on top. So then we had 3 parts, me, her, and the radio. So, but yeah, just little things like that. All of my sisters are undercover singers, but they're not people who ever wanted to pursue it, but they can all sing. So
yes, same as my sisters. We were called the Hamilton sisters.
okay.
But it's only my baby sister.
Okay.
Yes, I know that's obvious. But that's what we was called. Thank you very much. You know, and my baby sister now, oh my goodness. My baby sister, when she sings, I just have to just look.
Yeah.
And she taught herself to play the harp in 2 hours.
The harp? Really?
Yes.
Wow.
She said the Lord told her she needs to get a harp, and then everywhere she was looking, on the TV programs, newspapers, walking into a shop, she started seeing little harps, medium-sized harps, some kind of harp in somewhere. And then she went into a charity shop, and there was a harp, and sparkling at her, like a David harp. And she went and asked about how much the price, and she thought, I'm just going to buy it. And she bought it and taught herself to play it in 2 hours. No, nobody teaching her. She didn't have no internet or anything to do it.
Wow.
And then my older sister bought her a concert harp. This was about 7 foot high, and she brought it down to my parents' house. And my goodness, when she played that, I was stunned. I thought to myself, no wonder David was able to soothe Saul when Saul went into one of his madness fits. You know, he was able to be soothed. It was absolutely beautiful. But I'm digressing. Now, Mr. Producer's looking at me now.
2 minutes.
Yeah. 2 minutes. Are you sure? That went so fast.
We've got 10 minutes left.
He says 2 minutes, so I'm going to have to come down. I'm just thinking, who's your influences, secular and gospel? Who's your influences?
Secular, I love hip hop. Anybody that knows me knows that I love hip hop and jazz funk. Do you want specific artists or?
2 specific artists.
Okay, gospel, I would say Daryl Coley. I really love Daryl Coley.
Oh, Daryl Coley. Wow. Okay.
Who else? I think there's too many for secular music. I don't even know where to start. Okay.
The first one that comes out of that.
I'll say Patrice Rushen because she's an inspiration as a fellow female producer. So I'll say
Who's that?
Patrice Rushen.
Oh, is she a producer as well? Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right. I remember Patrice Rushen. Yeah, I do. Right. What's your creative process like? And this is going to be my last question. And what are you going to be doing in the next 2 to 5 years? So you're creative. process, and what's going to be coming up, and then we have to close.
Okay. Creative process depends on which side, whether it's for production or songwriting. Songwriting, usually I will hear a melody in my head just going round and it won't go away and it'll keep going. Go on, put that down. Or I hear a piece of music that will inspire something, or I write for other artists and other producers as well. So sometimes they send me music and I'll just sit down with a glass of something slightly alcoholic, and I'll just sit and hum melodies and write songs that way. Music wise, making a beat, I have to say, just anything and everything. Sometimes I'll sit down with a goal in mind, thinking, okay, I'm gonna do a slow jam today, or I'm gonna do a hip hop track today. So I kind of find a bunch of drum sounds and program, mess around with that, see what I hear. If I hear a sample, or if I start playing something on the keys that inspires me, then I'll develop it, and it will evolve as different sounds and textures come into my head. So I know that all sounds a bit wishy-washy, but that's literally it.
No, not wishy-washy. I mean, you can get inspired from lots of different things. Some people, they will take a long time to write a song, one song, you know, and they have to be in one particular room, you know, or they have to write the lyrics first before they can start with the music. But you can do different ways. And what are you going to be doing in the next 2 to 5 years, please?
Next 2 to 5 years, not living in England, hopefully. Somewhere in America. I haven't decided yet. I'm still exploring America. I've been to a few different places, but still kind of making a decision. I'm yet to try Atlanta, but I'm told that I'm gonna love it. So whenever I'm next out there, I think that's my next stop. Next 5 years, writing songs for films and TV shows, hopefully. Excuse me, as well as artists.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe I don't know, just anything, still creative, still in a creative capacity musically, hopefully. You know, I'm hoping that whatever I make musically is still going to be relevant, or people still going to be interested in hearing it, even if it's not cutting edge. I suppose in films, depending on what type of film, you can kind of go in whatever direction. So yeah, I think I'm going visual next, I think.
Well, everyone, you've heard what Cherokee's had to say, so I would ask you to look out for her, because she will be bringing out music in the very near future, some more. And like if you listen to GX Radio, you'll be hearing more about Miss Cherokee. Now I'm going to ask you to vote, and Cherokee's hobby actually has been nominated as a producer, best producer of the year, on the GX Awards, and along with others. And so why don't you go and onto the www.thegxawards.com, and there's 32 different categories. You can go and listen to different pieces of music on the YouTube, on Spotify, and then you can go and vote. Voting finishes on Saturday, this Saturday the 26th, 23:59. After that, you won't be able to vote. So you're going to need a good 15 minutes at least, 15 minutes at the very least to vote, if you don't know all the different people that's in the categories. And also the award ceremony is on the 4th, Saturday the 4th of September. That will be in Wolverhampton, but all the details will be on the website, www.thegxawards.com. Cherokee, you have been brilliant. Signed, sealed, delivered. Would you just like to say goodbye to your audience, and then I'll say goodbye, and then I'll talk to you straight afterwards?
Okay, look out for my next single, Comfortable, coming very, very soon. Video in production. Thank you, Mama Sam. Plug, plug, plug. Thank you, Sai. Love you. We will catch up. And thank you, everybody who listened. And hopefully you enjoyed something and learned something as well. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. And